When you try to please everyone, you end up pleasing no one. We've all heard the variations of this quote from different people, and the more I think about WordPress, the more I think this quote applies to it. When we take a look at the WordPress mission statement, you'll see that the very first words are democratize publishing. Coming down to the description of the mission, it starts by saying that WordPress is designed for everyone. Okay, so we all know that mission statements are supposed to be aspirational. And while WordPress has done a great job of making it easy to publish things on the internet, it falls very short of being designed for everyone. A few weeks ago, I attended WordCamp US 2023, and I came away thinking a lot about the overall direction of WordPress and what it means for website owners, designers, and developers. In this video, I unpack some of WordPress's history and how it has continually failed to meet the needs of the vast majority of its users. Those who want a website to look and act the way they envision it, and the service providers like me who create websites for our customers. This video isn't going to have any concrete things for you to implement, and it probably won't even have any major aha moments. I'm making this mostly to set the stage for other conversations and tutorials around WordPress blocks, the block editor, and block themes. Automattic, the company behind WordPress, knew they had a problem years ago when they saw platforms like Wix and Squarespace eating away at their market. As a response, they created the block editor Gutenberg, and now they're pushing the concept of block themes. In my opinion, this has not done anything to help the situation. Instead, it's made things easier for site owners while making things more complex for developers. The gap between them is just as wide, if not wider than ever. Let's take a look at WordPress from the perspective of three types of users. First, there's the website owner. Maybe they're a small business trying to show products and services online, or maybe they're a blogger publishing articles about a certain topic. Either way, they aren't developers, and they probably don't care about all the nuts and bolts of building and managing the website. Then we have developers. These are the people who spend their days writing code. Maybe it's PHP, maybe it's JavaScript, and probably it's a bit of both. They solve problems, build solutions, implement designs, and create themes and plugins. Lastly, we have web designers. These are the people who likely work with customers to help deliver their websites. They're usually a good mix of business savvy, creative, and technical. They may be comfortable writing some HTML and CSS, but they don't live in code editors all day long, and they probably are a bit intimidated by writing a custom function or two. They likely use page builders, and in my opinion, these are the people getting left behind by WordPress. Now for a bit of a history lesson. Before the WordPress block editor was introduced at the end of 2018, website owners would either buy a pre-built theme or they'd hire somebody to build or modify one for them. That theme would be pretty prescriptive in the way that content needed to be entered and where it would be displayed on the website. Publishers and website owners would be somewhat locked into filling out fields in forms and writing longer form content using an interface that resembled a rudimentary word processor. As long as you stuck to the design format that was built for the theme, it worked great, and it was relatively easy to learn and use. However, making design changes generally meant needing to involve a developer to modify the theme's code. This led to frustration, especially when seemingly small changes took time and money to make. Given the lock-in that website owners felt with their themes, it's no wonder that DIY platforms like Wix became popular. Technical grumblings aside, WordPress was great from a developer's perspective during that time. Writing classic themes in PHP was almost as easy as working directly with HTML, and the WordPress platform kept us from having to reinvent the wheel for every project. WordPress's plugin architecture also opened up new possibilities for developers. The ability to use and sell plugins to handle specific tasks like managing forums, handling e-commerce, or even building out complex applications made it a flexible platform to build client sites and to build products to sell to other developers. On top of that, our clients relied on us to make changes to their websites. That meant we were able to have long-lasting and profitable relationships with them. So where did that leave web designers who didn't have the time, budget, or knowledge to hire a developer or code their own themes for their clients? This is where page builders come into play. Tools like Visual Composer, WP Bakery, Beaver Builder, Divi, and Elementor opened up whole new possibilities for web designers. With these tools, they could visually create nice-looking sites for their clients in a fraction of the time and cost that it would take to hand code them. Granted, certain issues come along with using page builders, but I'm not going to get into that right now. At the end of the day, though, it was these third-party page builders running inside WordPress that filled the gap WordPress left between site owners and developers. Let's fast forward a few years to WordPress version 5, which introduced the block editor. Automattic, feeling the pressure from competitors, knew they needed something to empower website owners. So they delivered the block editor as the new default editing experience. Saying that this was met with backlash and controversy would be an understatement. It was a brand new interface that appealed to nobody. To content editors who were used to word processors, the concept of opening a menu and selecting blocks for different types of content was foreign. For developers, the block editor was yet another abstraction between the content and the final design on the page. And to make matters worse, working with blocks meant having to learn a completely new programming language and framework. Eventually, though the grumbling settled down, editors came to appreciate the flexibility that the block editor offered. Unlike before with the classic editor, the block editor and core WordPress blocks gave them flexibility to have more control over the look and design of their pages and posts. For developers, the block editor meant that they could simplify their themes in a lot of cases. Rather than relying on tons of custom fields to place content throughout their templates, they could create simplified templates and let design patterns and flexible blocks handle the look and feel of content areas on pages and posts. The block editor also opened doors for developers to create block plugins with collections of custom blocks for just about anything you could imagine. Some block plugins even started taking a more developer-focused approach. They let you build layouts using elements and controls that mimic designing with HTML and CSS. Multi-purpose themes such as Cadence, GeneratePress, and Astra also gained popularity because of their versatility and ease of use compared to the more opinionated themes and frameworks of the pre-block editor days. While the newer themes and blocks don't quite reach the level of control and customization of the page builder, they come pretty close. They have also added the ability to work seamlessly within the tools and interfaces provided by WordPress. In my opinion, this is a great model. The theme controls the overall look and behavior of the site, while content editors can use blocks to manage their content. Web designers and DIY website owners continue to use third-party page builders more than anything else. Those tools have continued to mature as well. Products like Elementor now handle their own theming and almost exist as a platform within a platform. Some page builder users have even blended the two paradigms, controlling the styling and more complex components on the page with a page builder, while giving users control over content areas in the block editor. This is frankly where we still are today, despite WordPress pushing hard for their next great thing, full site editing, which debuted in January 2022. From Automatic's viewpoint, I see the appeal. They were getting external pressure from services like Wix. From within the WordPress platform, they're losing their identity and control to the plethora of bolted-on page builders. They neglected the majority of their users who wanted robust design control, and they needed to play catch-up. The problem is that blocks are both too simple and too complex to make anyone happy. Block themes give website owners a visual interface to modify page templates, but it certainly isn't a straightforward process. On the other side of the coin, building and managing block themes adds unnecessary complexity for developers and website maintainers. Meanwhile, the third-party page builder landscape continues to grow, mature, and strengthen. We're nearing the end of Phase 2 of the 4-part Gutenberg roadmap, and the design features of the block editor still pale in comparison to nearly every third-party page builder. The WordPress admin dashboard is a disjointed mess between the classic dashboard areas and the new site editor areas. And the process of building custom blocks to work in the block editor and block themes is orders of magnitude more complex than it ever was with classic PHP templates. In my opinion, I'd go so far as to say that creating and managing block themes benefits website owners, but pushes away the developers and designers who support them. Despite all this, the messaging from WordPress is clear. Get on the bus or be left behind. And since many of my customers still demand WordPress-based websites, at least for now, I'm committed to getting on board. So that's my ramble for today. I had pages of notes about blocks, block themes, and building solutions for my clients. I've also had several people ask for the pros and cons of blocks and the block editor versus page builders, so I'll likely do a video on that soon. This coming Friday, August 8, 2023, I'll be doing a YouTube Live with Jonathan Jernigan to talk about block themes and how I make custom blocks with a Pinegrow web editor. As always, if you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe or leave a comment down below, and I'll see you next time.